Alright, so this is number 5 in our Absolute Beginner series for piano. From here we're going to start talking about rhythm. Now normally when people are practicing things, the first thing I have them think about is rhythm. So the reason we're doing it this late in our list is that we had a lot of other things just to understand how to approach the instrument. And now that we understand how to think about the instrument and think about the parts of our body we'll be using, we really have to get serious about rhythm and take that from that step forward and always make that a consideration in anything we work on. So we're going to be talking about different types of rhythms, and then we're going to talk about how we'll practice those on the piano. But these are things you can actually practice anywhere, anytime, just on your lap or anything else. But let's take a look at it on the piano and on the board, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to be using our C chord to practice some new rhythms. First, we're going to try counting in groups of 4, thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to hold out over those 4 beats like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do both hands, that's even better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. You can do that. That's called a whole note. Next we're going to try half notes. So if whole notes are 4 beats long, then a half note is just 2. Half of 4 is 2. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go 1, 2, and then we'll do that again over 3 and 4. We still want to keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4 though. Don't count 1, 2, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we did whole notes, then half notes. Next we're going to do quarter notes. And if this is tricky, feel free to always go back and try the earlier ones again. So for quarter notes, we're going to play right on the beat. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 and play right with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, then we're going to try eighth notes. So eighth notes, we're going to play 2 times every beat. So we're still going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're going to say and between each beat, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? And for our last one, we're going to do 16th notes. For those, we'll count 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Now it's kind of hard to go. So we're going to break that up and play 1 note per count. 1 E and a. It's called an arpeggio. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Whenever we take our chord and break it up, that's an arpeggio. Okay, so we'll go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. Now once you can do all of those, we want to try to do them all together without stopping. Let's try that with a metronome first. So I'm going to start with my whole note. 1, 2, 3, whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, then half notes. 1, 2, 3, then quarters. 1, 2, 3, then eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 16th notes. All right, let's try that also with a drum loop. Okay. 2, 3, 4. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Cool. Okay, so let's see what this looks like written out. And if it didn't make any sense at the piano, hopefully this will help a little bit. Always feel free to go back and review anything that doesn't make sense. Sometimes the second time through it helps out. So we went through our whole notes, which when you write those out, they look like a little oval, and they last for 4 beats. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, they'd go da over that whole space. And when we practice that, we want to try doing that with our chords. Just like from our 5-note scale, we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, chord. chord, 1, 3, and 5 together, we're going to do all of these rhythms with our chord, except for the last one, but we'll talk about that again when we get there. So we want to practice going 1, 2, 3, 4, and holding that whole time. Da. And then we got our half notes. These lasted 2 beats. So play on 1, hold over 2, play on 3, hold over 4. So going da, da. Again, we want to do that with our chord. Okay? Next, we had our quarter notes. So there was 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to play on each count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we had our eighth notes. Now there's 2 times every beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we want to count our beats and always keep track of where we're at. We don't want to go 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because this 3 is at the same time as this 3 and the same time as this 3. And if we were actually playing here, this 3 would be the same time too. We are playing there, but if we started a new note there, it'd start at the same time. This is how people know how to lock into each other. 3 means the same thing for everyone, regardless of what anyone is playing. So for this one, we want to think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you can, it's a really good habit to build if you can tap your foot, but don't tap the rhythm you're playing, tap the beat. Tap 1, 2, 3, 4, even if you're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And we still even want to do chords for that. Now for the last one, it's 4 notes per beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. We want to do this figure 4 times. Now the thing is, that's a lot to play as a chord. It gets kind of frantic. So we're going to split that up into an arpeggio, which is a chord where you play 1 note at a time, right? So we want to go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, like that. C E G E C E G E C E G E C E G E. Okay, so I'm going to count through these 2 more times. 1 time with a metronome, and then 1 time with a drum loop. And let's see what each of those sound and feel like. Okay, so here's with a metronome. 3, 4. 1, then 1, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. All right, and then let's try that with a drum loop. 2, 3, 4, 1, then 1, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. All right. So you want to get used to each of those rhythms until you can do them all in a row without speeding up, slowing down, or stopping. These are what everything's made of for our most basic rhythms. And if these are hard, we definitely can't go any further than that. So start with these and see if you can get to where you can count them, where you can play them, and optimally where you can play them with both hands at the same time. So we'll pick up from there next time. Thanks.